He suddenly leaned forward, bracing his hands on the sofa on either side of me, trapping me. The heat from his body radiated through my sweater. I bought your time, Alara. You know what that means, don't you? I'll refund you, Damien. I'm serious, I'm getting married. His hand trailed down my arm, his fingers stopping at my wrist. Getting married, but still wearing a bracelet your ex gave you. Does it seem right? Does it? I frowned as Damien's fingers brushed the thin, silver bracelet on my wrist. It was the only thing I kept from college, scavenged from the bottom of a moving box after my family's bankruptcy. Its chain band, the tiny initial D, weren't almost smooth. I meant to take it off 100 times, but it felt like a penance, a reminder of the damage I'd done. Sentimental value. I lied, yanking my wrist away. Found it at a thrift store. Damien's jaw tightened. He didn't believe me. He never had, not when I was spouting half-truths, but he stepped back, giving me space, his eyes darkening as they roamed over my snow-soaked clothes and scraped palm. Thrift store, he repeated, his voice dry. Right. And you're really getting married to who? None of your business. I crossed my arms, forcing a steady gaze. Just someone I met while working down south. We're taking it slow, he laughed, a sharp, humorless sound. Taking it slow, you. All our events. Who used to plan her wedding before the first date? You're not getting married. You're running. I flinched. He knew me too well. Even after all these years, the lie about marriage had spilled out in a panic, a desperate attempt to push him away. I couldn't let him see how much it still affected me, how the sight of him successful, polished bill, devastatingly handsome, tore at the frayed edges of my heart. Believe what you want, I said, turning toward the door. Thanks for the ride and for cleaning my hand. I'll pay you back for the remake order. Damien grabbed my arm before I could reach the handle. His grip was firm, not painful, but it sent a jolt of electricity through me. You think this is about money? He asked, his voice low. After everything, you still think it's about money? I stared at him, confused. What else would it be about? I paid you to be with me. You got free of me when I went broke. We're even. He let go of me, stepping back as if I burned him. Is that what you tell yourself? That buying my time with medical bills and allowances made us even? You never stopped to ask what I wanted, did you? Not once. His words hit me like a punch. For years, I lived in my gilded bubble, convinced I was doing him a favor. I never considered the humiliation of being labeled a gold digger, the weight of owing someone everything, the quiet resentment that came from being trapped in a relationship built on debt. I'm sorry, I said, my voice cracking. It was the first time I'd ever apologized to him, and it felt woefully insufficient. I was stupid, selfish. I didn't know you didn't want to know. He cut in. You wanted a boyfriend, a project, something to fill your time while you waited for your perfect life to resume. And I let you because for a while, it was easier to pretend than to admit I was falling for the girl who'd saved my grandfather's life, even if she did it with a check. My breath caught. What I loved you, he said, the words coming out in a rush, like he'd been holding them back for years. Not the money, not the favors. You, the way you'd hum songs under your breath when you studied, the way you get so mad at injustice you cry, the way you cling to my hand like I was your anger. I loved you, but you were so busy being the rich girl who bought a boyfriend that you never saw it. Tears blurred my vision. Then, why didn't you say anything when I broke up with you? You didn't even fight. You just said okay, because you looked so relieved, he said, his voice breaking. You said you were bored, but I saw it in your eyes. You were scared. And then I found out about your family. I called every number, messaged every mutual friend, hired a private investigator. You vanished for years. I had no idea if you were alive or dead. The room spun. I had no idea he looked for me. I'd assumed he'd been glad to be free, that our relationship had been nothing but a burden to him. I'm sorry, I whispered again, because I had no other words. Damien ran a hand through his hair, his frustration melting into something softer. I started the tech company because of you. You used to tease me about my silly apps and my impossible dreams. I wanted to build something that would make you proud, something that would prove I wasn't just the guy who sold himself for medical bills. He walked over to the shelf with the unopened hand cream boxes. These are for you. I've been buying them every year since you left. Stupid, right? Thinking you'd just show up one day and want them. I reached for one of the boxes, my fingers brushing the familiar logo. It was a brand I'd obsessed over in college, the one I whined about when I ran out, never noticing Damien couldn't afford to buy it for me. Damien, I said, meeting his eyes. I'm not the same person I was. I've worked 3 jobs to pay off my father's debts. I've slept on couches, eaten ramen for weeks, and yelled at by customers who think I'm beneath them. I know what it's like to be humiliated, to be desperate, to owe people more than you can ever repay. I'm sorry I put you through that, but I can't. I can't be with you. Not now, not after everything. His face fell. Because of Vanessa, because of us, I said. Our relationship was built on a lie, on money, on pride. We can't go back to that. He nodded, his jaw set. Fine, but you're not getting rid of me that easily. You're my project assistant now, remember? And I'm a very demanding boss. Before I could respond, his phone rang. It was Vanessa. He glanced at the screen, then declined the call. Professional arrangement, he reminded me, as if freeing my mind. She's in Cannes next week for a film festival. We won't have to deal with her for a while, I sighed. Damien, just let me be in your life, he said, his voice soft. No strings, no demands, just let me make sure you're okay. Let me make up for the years I lost. I hesitated. The rational part of me screamed to run, to quit my job, move cities again, avoid the pain of rehashing the past. But the other part, the part that had loved him for years, that had missed him every single day since I left, couldn't say no. Okay, I said. He smiled, then a real smile. Not the cold, polite one he worn in the lounge. It was the same smile he'd given me when he first cut an orange for me. The same smile he wore when his grandfather had woken up from surgery. It made my heart ache good, he said. Now go take a shower. You smell like snow, I regret. I'll order food. I nodded, heading toward the guest bathroom. As I closed the door, I noticed a small box on the counter. It was the same brand as my bracelet, but new. Shiny silver, the deep polished to a bright glow. I picked it up, my fingers trembling. I emerged an hour later, clean and wearing one of Damien's oversized hoodies. house. The apartment smelled like pizza, my favorite kind with extra pepperoni and pineapple, the combination he always teased me about. He was sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone, but he looked up when I walked in. Feel better? He asked. I nodded, sitting next to him. The couch was big, but the distance between us felt small. Thanks for the hadia and the pizza. Anytime, he said, so DoorDash. Really, I laughed, a genuine one. Hey girls, gotta pay the bills. Plus, it's not as bad as it looks. I've met some interesting people. Like your fiancé? He asked, raising an eyebrow. I rolled my eyes. Okay, I lied, there's no fiancé. I didn't want you to think I was still hung up on you. He leaned closer, his shoulder brushing mine. And are you? I didn't answer. Instead, I reached for a slice of pizza, hoping to change the subject. But Damien didn't let it go. He gently took the pizza from my hand, setting it on the coffee table, and turned to face me. Alara, he said, his eyes locked on mine. Are you still hung up on me?